Number 7.
There it is.
Am I good? All right. Call to order the Vermillion County Council meeting for October 7th, 2024. Please stand for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, roll call, Mr. Costello.
Here.
Mr. Somerville.
Here.
Ms. Brown. Here. Ms. James present. Mr. Weir.
Here.
Mr. Bose.
Here.
And Mr. Brown should be here any second. All right. First up, we have approval of minutes. We have several. We have them from our budget days, budget hearings on September 9th, 10th, 11th, and our actual meeting on the 11th as well. We can approve them all together or one at a time if we need to. Are there any additions, corrections, or comments regarding any of the minutes?
Does the misspelling of a name matter?
They can fix it. Which
No, it's just spelled wrong. We got Rose.
A misspelling?
Yeah, just of a name.
okay.
I thought you meant like billion versus million
No.
or something.
No. I wasn't gonna say
That might
that, it's just
matter.
my last name's spelled wrong.
Where's that one at?
It was on page 3.
Oh,
Other than that,
Oh.
it was good.
it just has an extra R in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
numbers look right though.
On which one?
Page 3 of
The
the,
main?
It was the
Yeah.
school liaison grant fund. It said, Bose makes the motion, so they had an extra R in it.
Oh, okay, I got it.
I don't think that matters,
I'll
but
fix it.
She's got it all fixed. Anything else?
Jeff Rose. Make the motion to approve the minutes from the 9th, 10th, and 11th.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion for Mr. Weir, a second for Mr. Costello to approve all of the minutes from the 9th, 10th, and 11th of September. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state no. Minutes are approved. Next is the monthly treasurer's report and the interest report as well. Any questions on those? Okay. Moving along, we have transfer of funds. We do have several tonight. I believe only one requires a vote, though. The very first one does require a vote tonight. The clerk is asking for a transfer of approval for election funds. She is asking for a total transfer of $6,000, $1,500 for printing of the office, $1,000 in legal service, $2,000 in postage, and $1,500 in freight to be moved into the absent voter board. And this is to cover the cost for part-time help and early voting workers for the 2024 general election.
What's the amount out of printing? I can't read it.
$1,500.
Okay.
So we really have two, one that's reporting and one that's not, because
Yeah.
of the funds?
Yeah, the reporting only
Right.
goes from the one series to one series,
Right.
and where this one is the threes to the ones.
mhm.
Yeah. So it's a total
Yeah,
amount
that
of
was
transfer of
15. I
$9,000,
couldn't read either.
but we need to approve the 6,000 part of it.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Bose, a second from Mr. Weir to approve the transfer of $6,000 into the absent voter board for the election clerk Any further questions? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, state no. Transfer is approved. Oh, sorry. Next transfer was from the sheriffs. They had 3,000 radio upkeep to make software maintenance. The next transfer is reporting only as well. Highway Department, utilities and communications to cover communication expenses and phone expenses for the rest of the year. We had the Parks Department. There's actually basically two transfers in here. Electricity goes into grounds. Those are the same series of numbers. And then the tires and lube and the gas and oil for a total of 3,000 goes into the garage and liquor supplies. So that's why we don't have to put on that one. Is this one correct? It says $1.
That's what I was wondering.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were 4 cents short, and I wasn't playing 4 cents.
We were
so I
4
didn't
cents
know.
short. She is down to the penny. All right, so that one is dues and subscription to cars to cover the last quarterly payment for the adult child resource services cars, not actual driving cars. Another one for Commissioners Court is going into the legal services fees to pay for insurance deductible and for claim for legal services. Are there any questions about that one?
Hmm. So the county wasted on that, huh?
I don't know how much the insurance, well, that is the insurance deductible for that claim, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's $2,284 for, am I allowed to read that?
Legal claim?
Mm-hmm. Okay. It says to pay an insurance deductible for Astra Insurance for Daughtery versus Vermilion County, so. That is just to get the services, like, so they can proceed further. It's not an actual claim or a payment. That's the insurance part of it. We do have a couple more. Redevelopment Commission is transferring $25,000 to professional services to pay Baker Tilly for the Landco project. And that is coming out of, that's just a transfer within their fund. Probation is transferring $1,000 into travel to cover their visits for the year, end of the year. This was the other one that Rick mentioned, was the absent voter board, initial $3,200 for part-time and early voting workers for the general election. So, and those do not require any votes. Any questions on any of those? Okay. Well, the additional appropriations are next, and those do require votes now. We have two this evening. Continuing on with the election, we have an additional appropriation of $8,000 for the absent voters board. This is coming from the general fund. She says it's to cover the cost of part-time and early voting workers, as we mentioned before with the transfers. They may not need the full $8,000, but she's asking for it in case they need it, since we won't be able to approve it before the election comes up.
So this goes along with the other two then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
She usually has two working. And they work from, or at least here, have two working, and they work, I think, Monday through Friday. And then they also have another voting location in Clinton.
Mhm.
So there's, I assume, 2 there also, so you got 4 people.
And that's also for part-time during the election, isn't it? 'Cause
Possibility.
there's 17 precincts.
Yeah.
How's it normally covered? Is it just, whether just shortcomings and otherwise?
I think it's just part-time, as she indicates here, just part-time help. You know,
Right, I just didn't know if there was
2 locations and
part-time help budget
Yeah,
that
so you
was
got-
short this year.
you got October.
Yeah, we transfer people.
It's not something we
Okay.
have every year, so
Yeah.
I think sometimes it doesn't get adjusted in the budget.
Mhm.
And since there was a transfer of clerks last year, I'm thinking it got an oversight. Any other questions on that one? Is there a motion to approve this one?
I'll make a motion to approve the additional appropriation from the general fund to the absent voters board of $8,000 to help cover the cost of part-time help for early voting workers for
It-
2024 election.
Part-time and early voting.
I'm sorry, yes,
Yeah.
part-time and early voting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Costello, a second from Mr. Weir to approve $8,000 from general fund into absent voter board for the 2024 general election. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed state no. Appropriations approved.
If it doesn't get used in full or at all, that just reverts to the general fund at the end of the year.
Correct. And we'll right back in. And our last appropriation this evening is from the Health Department. They are asking for $8,140.68 from the Local Health Maintenance Fund, 1168, to purchase a generator for their new building. And they have submitted the documentation behind it as well. And Dr. Market is here if anyone has questions. Yeah, you can come up. if you want. Good evening.
Okay, we are asking for a generator to be hooked up, basically online with our electricity, so if the power fails, it will automatically come on, and we can keep the refrigerator running at all times. At any given time, there's at least probably $50,000 worth of vaccines that are in the department, so that's a big loss. They could be transported over to the hospital, you know, it's not a major disaster and everybody can get there, and but it would just be so much simpler and easier, and you know, other offices may be bringing vaccines and you know, get ours mixed up with anybody else's, and the hospital has their own supply, and so we went for not an industrial type generator, but just enough to keep the refrigerator and maybe the computers working in 2 offices. And that required some redoing of the electrical lines, but we're putting from the HFI funding $10,399.50 from that fund, and we're asking for from the 1168 $8,140.68. $8,140.68.
On that quote from him, it shows tax on there. You guys are exempt, aren't you? So that's not really part of it.
Yeah, this is, good catch.
understand if that helps that number, but,
That would change the number.
$33.
yeah.
This generator is gonna power the entire facility that you occupy?
I'm
Like,
sorry, my
this-
hearing
the-
aid's being repaired.
The generator system will allow your offices to function normally?
Well, not normally, but to be able to be open. And say for vaccines, we can still give vaccines. And depending on what the internet is doing, we can still print birth and death certificates.
But your primary intent is to guarantee power for your
Vaccines.
vaccines.
Mhm.
Primary goal.
Primary goal.
How much refrigeration does that take? Is that like several units or a large room that's cooled?
We have, and then we have one large refrigerator, we have 2 freezers. That's enough for the vaccines right now.
KW is probably more than they need, but
Yeah, that's what I was looking
That's-
at, was like, it's pretty powerful, I mean,
it's going to run the
26,000.
facility.
But that's why I was wondering if it's designed to run the all the rooms, the lights,
No,
and
it's not.
air conditioning, I mean,
I just got a 24-watt one, a whole home one, and it do every, I don't have a big house, 1,200 square feet.
24,000 kilowatt,
A
or 24
24K,
kilowatt, yeah.
And it will do everything, they told me. It's way more than I need at my home, but, you know,
Yeah.
The whole
Uh-huh.
building's quite a bit more square footage than,
But the bottom line,
Yeah, but
why
I-
they need one is because right now they don't have one.
Yeah.
yeah.
and it's also important, it is important to be able to have the air conditioner on, because if it gets too hot, then the refrigerators don't work right. And the vaccines are still in trouble, because we lost air conditioning over the summer. And they brought in these big portable units, and we just set them right in front of that room to keep the room cool.
Make a motion to approve it.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. I have a motion from Mr. Weir, a second from Mr. Costello to approve $8,140.68 from the Local Health Maintenance Fund, number 1168. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed state no. Additional appropriations is approved. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Have a good night. All right, that was our last additional tonight. We have no old business. New business, we have our adoption of our 2025 budget. We have first the 2024-08 Vermillion County Budget Ordinance. Should that be 2025?
No, because it's 20, you're doing
It
it in
says-
2024.
But that one says 2025-08.
Ordinance number's wrong. Ordinance number's wrong.
Okay, that's all right.
Is it 2024-08?
It's 2024.
Okay, so I need to check.
2020.
I put 2024.
I know.
Because it is for 2025.
That's the only part Brenda filled out.
Yeah, that's all. Yay. Hey, no, that's not. I fixed it.
We had Grace.
That's all we, that's a meeting one. All right. So first we'll do, and Scott, I need to read each individual line, correct?
You don't have to, I mean,
Here.
you can just read the bottom line, honestly.
Okay.
How you get to the totals. I mean, you know, and then there's 2 totals, by the way. There's- One, these are the funds that DOTF actually looks at.
I don't have that sign.
On the back
I don't
side,
have
you
anything.
I thought it looked short.
I don't have anything with it.
Yeah.
And there's the back side, which are all the home rule funds, they don't pay much at all attention to.
Okay.
So, and ultimately, I mean, if you want, I mean, there's, you know, how deep you go, because each one of those funds has
Mm-hmm.
departments, and in those departments, there are line items, and so I think what's particularly pertinent to element is what the total is.
Okay.
And
All right. And all this information is on Gateway Indiana too, in case anyone does want to look at all the individuals. Which one?
We didn't budget for the ARPA fund this year, but it's still on. I
Oh.
needed to kill it, but I didn't think to kill it.
It's okay. So,
I
all right.
just read the general fund and
All
the
right.
bottom line.
All right, we have ordinance resolution number 2024-08. This is the adoption of our 2025 budget. We have an adopted budget of $16,690,672, adopted tax levy of $9,882,118, for an adopted tax rate of 1.0863. And we have an adopted budget of $5,346,379 from our home rule funds. And that is it for, that's like public safety certified shares allocation fund.
We don't, yeah, they separate those two. We don't do that. That's the deal here.
So, all right. Do
I make the motion.
I have a motion, all right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion from Mr. Weir, a second from Mr. Somerville, to adopt ordinance resolution number 2024-08, which is the 2025 budget for Vermillion County. Any further discussion?
Yes. We may have forgot to look at possible adjustment in salary on one particular building maintenance for the courthouse and the annex. And I think we got an email on that we forgot to discuss. I don't know whether we want to discuss it at this time or address it at a later date.
I think it was 500 or something each, yeah. There's a difference of 500 each. So $1,000. Yep.
When we opened the annex, we never considered
Extra work.
the extra work that's been going on for, I'll say this year. So do we consider it for next year? And what might that be? I don't know. Something we just have to do tonight or anything, but something I just wanted to bring up
Well, if we do
because
it,
it was brought up, so.
if that's,
It doesn't really change the numbers significantly.
the salary ordinance is done in December, but we would have to put the additional 500 each of those line items tonight.
Right.
So it would change
No,
the general by $1,000.
so you don't have to do it, right? You can do an additional appropriation
Mm-hmm.
versus a year, or you can I mean, for that amount, you can transfer.
Not the ones. I don't think we have anything to transfer. No,
Yeah, maybe not.
it's on the courthouse.
Courthouse, yeah, I see.
Is it too late to add $1,000 to that number?
Well, the
Or
problem
is
is
it-
you don't have to add it there, you have to add it like
Several places.
several places, so.
Let's do it later.
It would take a few minutes, I mean, I can go do it, but
I mean, we can bring it up later
Yeah.
if that's what,
Let's do it before we do the salary ordinance,
okay.
decide on it, and then that way when we approve the salary ordinance can be correct.
Yeah.
And then we can do the additional in January to make the budget correct, like the line correct. That work?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is that a county-owned facility then? It's,
Mhm.
As long as we don't forget it.
Yeah, so
But
we'll have,
maybe one was-
we'll have that discussion before we do the salary ordinance. Because if we don't do it on the salary ordinance, then there's no need to do it here. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to do it the easiest way possible.
If I could just
Okay.
add, if I could just write it out there and write.
Well, I didn't know how many spots I knew there was some.
It's-
Is this, they spoke up on it or something, so I just have to find it.
They didn't, we did.
Yeah, we could, if you know that's what you want to do, we can amend it, and then it may just take us a few minutes to get the paperwork together. I don't care.
Up to you guys.
What's easier for you?
Not to
Wait.
change it, but.
Well, then
If
let's
you want
just
to
wait.
change it, it's fine.
Wait
I
until
I
later.
can sit here and do it.
We'll do it
I
later.
think it's easier for us to I know it's harder for us right now, but in the future with
And make our budget sheets correct for next year.
Makes everything correct.
No, that's fine.
Additional
It's fine.
First of the year when
I'll
I'm
go
here.
and start looking up here. It's just, the internet's been a little, and the
Right.
gateway site, I don't know, I think
Yeah.
everybody's in it, but the gateway site has been just sad.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem either, because I know sometimes once you change one thing,
Does anyone
numbers have a way of
not
changing.
wanting to increase?
Yeah, not wanting to work,
I guess,
so.
That'll be helpful.
is everyone okay with that change?
You're talking $1,000 to take care of that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the adopted budget would now be $16,691,672. Adopted tax levy remains the same at $9,882,118.
Well, here's what we adopted.
And the adopted tax rate would not change either at 1.0863. Correct? That wouldn't change my levy or my adopted tax rate.
Oh, fine. All right, all right.
Am I right, Scott? That the levy will not change and neither will the tax rate, because it's not.
Won't change any of that.
All right. So, Mr. Weir, would you like to amend your motion to,
Yes,
for the new budget?
yes.
Mr. Somerville?
So, second.
All right. All right. I have a motion from Mr. Weir, a second from Mr. Somerville, for the adopted budget of $16,691,672, adopted tax levy of $9,882,118, an adopted tax rate of 1.0863, and the home ruled funds still remain the same as well, as presented. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed state no. Ordinance resolution number 2024-08 is approved. Sorry for all that confusion. Thanks, Rick, for remembering that. All right, we also have one additional, it's another budget. It is for the solid waste management. It is ordinance resolution number 2024-09. Is for an adopted budget of $15,093, adopted tax levy of 0, and an adopted tax rate of 0.
Is there another backside to this too?
No, it's just one line.
Why would this be separate from the other? Why is that separate from that one?
Solid waste is technically like it's separate, it has to have its own separate reporting thing for the DLGF.
Motion made.
A second.
Okay. I have a motion from Mr. Weir, a second from Mr. Bose to approve ordinance resolution 2024-09 for solid waste management. Adopted budget $15,093, tax levy, adopted tax levy 0, and adopted tax rate of 0. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, state no. The ordinance resolution 2024-09 is approved. All right. All right. That is all I have. Any public comment tonight? None? All right. Does anybody else have anything?
No.
No? All right. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Everyone have a good evening.
Very much.